Help! My homeschooled child doesn't want to do their schoolwork. What do I do? Hi, I am Rachel from 7 in All. I am a second generation homeschool mom who loves to make nerdy videos here on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and stick around if you just want to have nerdy homeschool chats all the time. Today, I want to be answering a question that I've received multiple times in different forms recently. Help, my child doesn't want to do schoolwork. They drag their feet, they whine and complain when it's time to do school. I don't want to kill their love for learning. I feel like I've tried everything to make schoolwork fun. What can I do? What should I do when my child doesn't want to do schoolwork? Now, I might have a bit of an odd answer to this. The kind of answer you're going to get from Rachel from 7 in All is not necessarily going to sound the same as the answers that you will get from other homeschool advisors. So just keep that in mind. I have 3 big concepts that I'm going to tackle in this video. Here they are. 1, be realistic with your expectations. Number 2, require cooperation and communicate your expectations. And number 3, implement best practices for your homeschool. Let's talk about what I mean by those. Number 1, be realistic with your expectations. This might be an odd answer, but I believe that if we are expecting a 5 or a 6-year-old to be excited and passionate about getting to sit down and do lessons with mama instead of playing with cars or playing with Legos or going to the park, then we might be a bit unrealistic in our expectations. I think we are expecting too much. Kids do not have the perspective on life that we have. They do not have the perspective that this is so cool. You guys get to be at home, sitting down on the couch, learning about math with mom. They don't have our life experience. They're not born with the wisdom to realize that, hey, once I learn how to read, a whole world of exploration opens up to me, a whole new world that I can explore. They don't know that reading is a foundational skill that is necessary to equip them to do so many exciting things with their lives. They simply know that playing with Play-Doh is fun, playing with cars is fun, playing with Legos is fun, not having to sit down is fun. They don't have the life experience that tells them that once they put in the hard work to learn how to read and learn how to read well, that reading will also be fun. Learning to read, learning basic math skills, learning how to form letters correctly and neatly. These are all challenging skills for young children to master. Depending on the personality, a lot of young children don't really like to be challenged. It is uncomfortable to be challenged. Think of a challenge you faced. It's uncomfortable, right? And human nature is to run away from discomfort. We don't like to be uncomfortable. Kids have more potential to be excited about math and reading and deep academic skills later, once they've put in enough work and seen the fruit of that work. My oldest son, when he was little, he did not see the point of learning all the pairs that make 10 in math. 7 and 3, 6 and 4. He didn't see the point, but I told him, just trust me. Trust mama. This is actually magic for math. Learning these pairs is going to make you be able to solve so many math problems, hard, difficult math problems, much easier. This is a skill that's going to help you for a long, long time, for your entire life. He wasn't excited about it. He didn't have passion for it, but we did the work, we did the practice, we did all those lessons using math with confidence, and he mastered it. Now that he's doing 3rd grade math and he's solving much more complex problems, he gets it. He knows, he sees it all the time. Hey mom, look, I'm still using the pairs that make 10. Now he's the one telling his 5-year-old brother, trust mama, trust me. Learn these pairs that make 10 because you are going to use this forever. Now he has the perspective to see how this skill is useful. But back then, when he was first learning it, he didn't. So first of all, I would say I would not worry at all about a 5, 6-year-old, any kind of beginner student who is not passionate about learning academic skills. That is really entirely normal. And I think we're expecting too much if we're expecting them to approach lessons with the same passion that they bring to their play. Point number 2, require cooperation and communicate your expectations for what that looks like. So we can't require passion and excitement. That's probably asking too much. But we can require basic cooperation. I work on building the habit and the expectation that when mama says it's time for school, you come right away without whining and complaining. And I work on building that expectation from the very beginning of when I start preschool routines. For me, when mama says it's time to start school, that is never optional. There will be more time to play in the day. There is lots of time to play in the day. But sit down learning time with mama is important. The 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, they are not the boss of the day. They are not the boss of the day schedule. They do not determine what is done at every time in the day. That's actually my job and my role. I also make it clear to my boys that lessons are going to be a lot more fun when you come to the table with a good attitude. But the lessons are going to happen regardless of what your attitude is. Having a bad attitude is not going to result in a reward of, oh, I guess we won't do lessons today. It will simply make the lesson experience more unpleasant for all involved, so you might as well opt for a good attitude and just cooperate. So, this means that I consistently communicate my expectations and script for the right way to respond when mom says it's time for school. We are not a household that appreciates whining, complaining, or making excuses. When mom says it's time for school, it is not optional. It's not like when I say, hey, do you want some ice cream? That is optional. You could say, no, I don't feel like ice cream right now. It's more like when I say, hey, it's time to brush your teeth. That's not optional. That's not up for debate. Being very consistent with not allowing schoolwork to become something that is debatable helps a lot with decreasing attempts to debate it. Number 3, I implement what I would call best practices as a homeschool educator. One of those might seem silly, but I allow my boys to bring a snack to the homeschool table. And in fact, I remind them, hey guys, if you'd like a snack, make sure you bring it with you when I call you for school. Snacks are simply more motivational than reading lessons are, and this is normal. This is not a bad thing. Have you ever worked at a workplace and they have meetings, and at those meetings they have coffee and donuts? It's the same thing for adults, so why would it not be the same thing for kids? I do short lessons. Yes, we study a wide variety of topics, but no one lesson or subject is long and dragged out in my homeschool. We do short, effective lessons. I have worked to develop my skills as a teacher, so I know how to teach, and I'm not dragging it out or wasting my students' time. Another best practice is that I am very consistent. We have school day routine and we have non-school day routines. On school days, my boys know the routine because we don't change it. They don't wake up wondering and uncertain what's going to happen today. Having these consistent routines that are consistently implemented helps a great deal. In addition, I also point out fruit and progress to them. When I see my child has mastered and really made a lot of progress in a skill that was hard for them at first, I tell them, hey, do you remember when this was hard? Do you remember when this was frustrating to you at first? Can you see how far you've come? I specifically draw their attention to this so that they can begin building their own narratives, their own stories in their mind of academic progress, of academic overcoming and learning new skills. I want to encourage you, do not be too dismayed, homeschool parent, when your call to school is not met by children who greet you with cries of joy about the homeschool feast that lays ahead. That might be unrealistic, but we can work on developing the habit, the consistent habit of cooperation as our children begin to open their eyes to the feast of learning that lays ahead. Let me know down in the comments, how do you respond to students who don't really want to get started with their lessons? I'd love to hear from other experienced homeschool parents, and I'll be back next time for more nerdy homeschool conversations. I'll be seeing you. Bye.